Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh to Dr. Siti Khatijah binti Hubadillah. My name is Muhammad Syamirul bin Muhammad Noor and my metric number is 269824. In this video, I would like to present to you the individual assignment 1 for subject BJTC 2023 Construction Technology Group B about the process that involved in construction technology. And now, in this presentation, it's consists 5 elements of content, which is, first one, is project life cycle. Second, activities involved during construction project. Third, key players. Fourth, project planning and controlling. And the last one, a successful construction. In this session, we will explore the stage that a project goes through, from conception to completion. There is 5 key processes. The 5 key process groups are initiating, planning, executing, monitoring and controlling, and closing. The purpose of the project life cycle is to create an easy-to-follow framework to guide projects. First process is initiating process. First, you need to identify a business need, problem or opportunity and brainstorm way that your team can meet these opportunity needs, solve this problem or seize this opportunity. This process helps in visualizations of what is to be accomplished. This is where the project is formally approved by the sponsor or client, initial scope defined, and stakeholder identified. This process is performed so that project and programs are not only approved by the sponsoring body, but also aligned with the strategic objective of the organization. Where this is not performed, project may be started or carried out haphazardly with no real state goal or objective. There is 5 steps of initiations process. It is include. First one is identifications of the problem, identifications of the scope, identifications of the deliverables, identifications of the project stakeholders, and the 5th one is development of a business case. Now I would like to proceed to our next process, which is planning process. The planning process is at the heart of the project activity cycle and give guidance to stakeholders on where and how to undertake the project. Planning is the second yet most important phase in the project management life cycle. Project planning is at the heart of the project life cycle and tells everyone involved where you are going and how you are going to get there. The planning phase is when the project plans are documented. The project deliverables and requirements are defined and the project schedule is created. There is 5 steps of planning. 5 steps of planning process includes, the first one is identifications of the project timelines, creations of workflow documents, estimations of budgets, gathering resources, and the last one is risk anticipation. Executing process. This process is also known as the implementation phase, in which the plan design in the previous phase of the project activity cycles is output into actions. The intent of the executions phase of the project activity cycles is to bring about the project's expected results. Normally, this is longest phase of the project management life cycles, where most resources are applied. During the project executions, the execution teams utilizes all the schedule, procedures and template that were prepared and anticipated during prior phase. Step of the executing process includes: first, creating tasks and organizing workflows, explaining tasks to team members, communications with team members, monitoring, and the last one is managing budget. Monitoring and control process. This process oversees all the tasks and metrics needed to guarantee that the agreed and approved project that it is undertaken is within scope, on time, and within budget, so that the project proceeds with minimum risk. This process involves comparing actual performance with planned performance and taking corrective action to yield the desired outcome when significant differences exist. With the completion of this phase, it is finally time to begin the actual field construction. And the last one is closing process. This is considered to be the last process of the project activity cycles. In this stage, the project is officially and formally closed, and then a report is produced to the project's sponsor or client on the overall levels of success of the completed project. The closing process involves handling over the deliverables to the sponsor or clients, handling over documentations to the owner, cancelling suppliers contract, releasing staff and equipment, and informing stakeholders of the closure of the project. There's 4 steps of closing process, which is include determine the goals, evaluations of the team's performance, ensure that all aspects of project are completed, and conducting a final analysis of the project. Now we are in the second part of the element in this presentations, which is activities involved during construction project. There is 11 activities involved during construction project, which is number 1 is marking and grading, second is excavation, third is concreting, fourth carpentry, followed by bridge masonry, plumbing, welding, electrical, roof laying, glazing, and the final, which is finishing. First, marking and grading. Marking is one of the first construction activities which involve marking the area of the plot for reference. This helps the workers to always be able to orient themselves in terms of their workspace. Grading helps to ensure the building are even, last long, and maintain maximum support. There may be particular circumstances when something is being constructed that would be required a slight incline or decline to the base surface. Second, excavation. There are several different types of construction activities in excavation. In general, the term involves moving earth or rock out of the certain area to prepare it for construction. This includes basement excavation, which dig the earth out to prepare for basement to be built. It also includes mud, rock, and topsoil excavation, all of which includes removing the substance from the work area. Third, concreting. The process of pouring concrete is another major activity in construction. It is often used for base of building, for roads, bridges, pipes, and many other applications. One of the reasons it's become so popular in the construction industry is that the concrete itself, it is easy to make in a large quantity, and it change states so that it is easy to work with it and to manipulate. Fourth, carpentry. One of the first activity that come to many people's mind when construction is mentioned is carpentry. This is the general cutting and installations of material that will be used for the construction for a structure. Carpentry used to be a word that described individuals working with wood, especially but now carpentry means working with several different materials. Number 5, brick masonry. Brick have been used in construction for decades and are still used often today as highly efficient materials. Brick masons lay the bricks, ensuring that they are laid in a way that constructionally sounds. For example, laying each brick one on top of the other allows for cracks to go all along the entire wall. 6. Plumbing. Plumbing systems of pipes and fixtures installed in a building for distributions and use for potable, drinkable water and the removal of waterborne waste. In structures that is required plumbing, there are specific plumbing activities that must occur to ensure they will function properly. These include putting in piping and fixtures for both incoming potable water and outgoing waste. 7. Welding. The activities of attaching two metals together using heat is welding, a crucial action in construction used to bind metals, especially for structural purposes. There are different types of welding can be used for different types of metals and different conditions. All welding is extremely skilled and can be difficult to master. 8. Electrical. Individuals working as electricians on a construction product are responsible for ensuring that the structures will ultimately have full access to electricity from the transformer provided by the electrical company, which is located close to the building. There are several steps that go into the installation of electricity in the build, including temporary electrical needs, a rough installation, and finally the real installation which will be used. Now we will go to number 9, roof laying. Roofing is an important construction activity for ensuring the protection of a structure from the element and can help provide stability for the structure. There are different methods used for roofing, but there are also methods have metal, polycarbonate and steel roof, as well as many others which are used for different purpose. Number 10, glazing. This activity is basically anything to do with glass windows and doors. In a construction project, the term is used broadly to reference the installation of pretty much any glass involved in the construction of a particular structure. Lastly, finishing. Finishing in construction means putting on a final touch of a structure in order to prepare it to be used. These include, but it is not limited to activity like glazing, flooring, painting, wallpapering, and plastering. It is most often about final aesthetic touch and slightly less about safety and function. Although all finishing activities are crucial part of a final construction product. Now we would like to proceed to the third content in this presentation, which is key player. The first one is the owner or employer. Owner is also called known as a client, also a person who actually arrange money for particular project. Owner is a real estate who has to launch idea. Owner may be a person or a government. He provide funds. He is a funding agency for the project scope. Definitions is also provided by the owner. Second is the designer or estimator. Designer may be an architect or an engineer. He designed the project on the basis of his previous experience. Designer must have pre-qualification. Owner will select a designer which is expert in his work. Architect or planner. Architects are artists. They combine architectural history, science, and art within the built environment to produce design that will not only meet the client's requirements but also enhance the environment. Continue with number 4, which is C&S engineers. Construction engineering is a professional discipline that deals with designing, planning, constructing constructions, and management of infrastructure such as roads, tunnels, bridges, airports, railroads, facilities, buildings, dams, utilities, and others projects. Next is M&E engineers. M&E in construction refers to the mechanicals and electrical system. The terms M&E or M&E engineers are often taken to be interchangeable with building service or service engineer. Second last is QS. QS refers to quality surveyors are responsible for managing all aspects of the contractual and financial side of construction project. QS manage the cost on a construction project. They help to ensure that the construction project is completed within its projected budget. And the last one is the constructor. A constructor is an individual who utilize skills and knowledge acquired through education and experience to manage the executions of all of a portion of a construction project. A constructor is primarily employed by or work a general contractor or as a subcontractor. And now we are continue to the fourth element in this presentation, which is project planning and controlling. What is project planning? Project planning is the heart of a project life cycle and tells everyone involved where they are going and how they are going to get there. It is also the objective of the project in defines words, goals, and state intermediate to attain the final target forecast and means achieving goals, which is activities, organizations, resources, financial, managerial, and operational to carry out activities and to determine what feasible and what is not. alternative individual causes of action that will allow accomplishing goals. For consistency with company's policy, alternative which is not only consistent with its goal and concept but also one that can be accomplished with the evaluate resources, and lastly as a decision on a plan. Project controlling is an effective tool to ensure that project goals, timeframes and costs are complete with. This phase is carried during the executions of the project. The differences between the scheduled performance and actual performance are reviewed once the project starts. Project control is established to determine deviations from the basic plan, to determine the precise effect of these deviations on the plan, or to replan and reschedule to offset for the deviations. Controlling, the following steps are followed. The standard and targets are established, and targets are generally exposed in the term of time. Performance is measured against the standard set down in the first step. The deviation from the standard are identified. These are the objectives of project planning and control. The first is to arrange activities based on the requirement, to make realistic times scheduling, to make a resources estimation and planning, to implement time and cost controlling, to ease the contract administration. What makes a successful construction project? When we think about successful project, we think about the project that meet the given standard, finish on time, and within budget. First, create a flow of communication. Communication is essential to every phase of any construction project. One of the simplest way to create a flow of communication is a work execution platform by syncing documents, photo, comments and calendars in single location. You can monitor updates, budgets and scheduling change as they occur. Second, make a habit of continuous planning. Planning may be a second of the project management institute 5 phase of project management. But construction project managers should start planning long time before actual construction begin, and continue revising and developing until the project end. Third, observe and ask questions. Field elements that can be dramatically impact the workflow of construction project. There will be many times when you need to actually see an issue in person before you can resolve it. Number 4, budget project with a work execution platform. In construction, the permit, wages, materials and equipment needed for project are often exchanged between an array of financially sourced and vendors. From the initial bidding process to the project closeout, constructions PMs are responsible for tracking and monitoring all costs, especially as they are related to initial budgets. The last one is Embrace the automate reporting system. Construction budget project management requires the weekly distributions of various spreadsheet and status reports, and automate delivery tools will save significant times over the span of the bill. That's all from me. Thank you.